and gentlemen, it is Sunday, and welcome to the first official installment of Super Sentai Sundays. It was originally Tuesday, but then I decided since Ohsama Sentai King Ogher comes out on Sundays, I might as well wait until Sunday so that I can do it on the same day it comes out. That means that it's gonna be fresher in my mind. I'm gonna remember it better. I have a very bad memory, so I end up not remembering things that happened in the episode the longer I wait. But basically, it's going to help me also. That way I can wait till the end of the week so that I can remember to watch it. You know, it's going to help me. Also, Super Sentai Sundays just rolls off the tongue better than Tuesdays, so here we go. Anyway, I am playing catch-up because I did not get to last week for whatever reason, so this is going to be a double header for episode 7 and 8. Also, I am waiting to do Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers. I know last week I waited for Russia, but this week I'm waiting for the other show, so that way next week we'll be caught up and we can do episode 4 for both series at the same time. So, there you are. But right now we are talking about Ohsama Sentai King Ogher. And at this point, Rackley's, for whatever reason, has ripped up the agreement. So, I'm not really sure why it means they can't use their powers. But maybe it's because since there's no treaty, he's the one in charge, so he's the only one who gets to decide, and their swords stop working. So Yanma and Ren, the blonde princess, they are competing to see who can fix the Shugodans first. And of course it's Yanma because he's the technological one. But meanwhile, Ren, she for some reason decides to enter the God Scorpion. I know all this doesn't make a lot of sense out of context. There's a lot of terminology here. In fact, that's one of my big problems with this show. There's a lot of terminology to remember. There's the treaty, there's the royal arms, there's the Shugodan, there's the Bugnarak, there's the God Scorpion. There's so much shit to remember, and it gets very confusing. And I know that there are terminology in other series, but I think this series is overdoing it. It's not bad, but it's very much overdoing it. Anyway, Ren decides to go into the God Scorpion because she wants to connect with it. And one of the things is that previously somebody sent the God Scorpion to lay waste to the kingdom, and 2 of the people who got killed in that siege were her parents. So she wants to find out who it is that did that. I assume it's either going to be Rackley's or Rita, because I don't know who else it would be, but we'll find that out later. Anyway, she gets into this machine and she's like, oh, you want to find your friend. Okay, well, I'll connect with you and help you find your friend. So they fix that. They fight. And there are a lot of really weird jokes, which I don't really think are, which I think are kind of out of place. Like, there's a joke where she finds out that the friend, the other Shugodan, the Scorpion has feelings for, which is really weird to me because it's a machine. How do you fall in love? I don't understand that. And then there's a joke where Yanma tries to punch Gira for no reason, but Gira moves and he misses. I did the one at the end where they're all standing around and they're like, oh, well, if only we weren't so tired, we could catch the fugitive who's running away from. I thought that was really funny. I actually thought that one was really funny. But unfortunately, he, as you might have expected, Rackley's gets to him first, and he basically ends up challenging Gira to a duel, which of course, Kira loses because he is way outmatched. And for some reason, they decide to trick Heracles into thinking he's dead, which is really weird because I thought the one prince king whose name I don't know, the long-haired one who was apparently on Heracles' side, for some reason he decides to give Heracles a serum, which he thinks is poison, but is actually anesthetic, and then they're gonna, it's so convoluted, and it's starting to bug me how much this show was trying to do, because previously, if you remember, I said that I think this show is biting off more than it can chew. Previous shows, while they have plot, have never been this complicated, and it's been much easier to follow. I don't necessarily think it's hard to follow. I just think it's a lot to take in, and we're only on like episode 8. So I just think this show should slow down, but that's just me. Anyway, they go through the fight, and Gira, they end up accidentally delivering the poison to Yanma for whatever reason. I think it's because Yanma like jumps in and is like, hey, and tries to fight him. And then Gira wakes up. I do want to admit, I love the little chibi scene of them explaining their fight, or explaining the plot about drugging Gira. That was really funny. And I like how they didn't use actual chibi. I like how they used, like, I don't know how to describe it. You remember Angela Anaconda? Not that really, really, really bad show? They basically used, like, paper cutouts like that. And it was actually really clever. I hope they do more with that. I really love that. That was hilarious. I was oh, hey, where am I? That was so funny. But it looks like next episode is just going to be a giant battle of who gets to keep Gira, which we've already seen. And I'm starting to realize that we've barely gotten anything with the Bugnarak. Like, we're on episode 8, and the Bugnarak have barely fucking showed up. And this is a Sentai series, and the actual villains have barely showed up. Like, I don't mind the royalty stuff. I think it's kind of neat. But at the same time, I want them to actually use what the Power Rangers is known for, and that is the alien stuff, the alien creepy designs, because the designs aren't bad, but they're not using it, and I'm afraid, like I said, I'm afraid the show has bitten off more than it can chew. I'm also afraid that the show is going to spend more time with the Heracles versus Gira plotline, and we're not going to get to see a lot of the aliens until like halfway through, which is bad, which honestly is bad. But that's it for this week. Next week we will be back to one episode at a time. And if you like this, you can watch previous episodes. You can also watch my reviews of Russia Sentai Tokyo Girl and my reviews of Avatar or Sentai Dawn Brothers, which will be back next week with episode 4. But in the meantime, I will start recording for Russia Sentai, and I will see you next week.